back on this rap-ish. I ain't even broke a sweat, homie, this practice. Pondering my next move, staring at my track list. Hope I ain't miss my window. Praying like a Baptist, Seattle's own. Tired of this Game of Thrones. They made a list of the best rappers and guess who wasn't on? While the disrespect continues, I'm steady packing these venues. Guess if you ain't at the table, you on the menu. And I'm that spitter, baby. They don't want you to see, but everybody's south of Capitol Hill's rocking with me. Boys smoke the trays and ponder getting their life together. I'm comfortable with my role, so I'm like, whatever. I ain't got a job, but I work hard. And you don't work hard, but you got a job. The irony is I'm judged while you feel the applause. I'm slept on, that's why I had to set this alarm. My dudes is armed, I'm armed with this arm charm. Body banging like she got that cream from Barry Bonds. Yeah.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
That Dre season is here, a real hitter with a mic, I'm everything that they fear. With that hood ain't the same, I was all on their ass, I'm level-headed. So yo, my dudes love when I spaz, and I'm so over Seattle's passive-aggressive attitude. They don't call you back, what they really saying is F you. While I'm from the same place, I move at a different pace. I prefer if you just said it to my face, damn, I did it.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Average dudes with they average spit, writing average rhymes, knocking average shit. The closer I get, I can feel the people starting to shift. I'm loyal to a fault, and everybody can't come with. Rap's a rich man's game, I'm only playing with change. They bang models and singers, I'm knocking my own flame, I'm different. The crowd, I move with the chosen few. Black thoughts, I could be the front man for the roots. No diamonds and gold, I'm on my sticks and stones. If we can see your panty line, you should have on a thong. My team is strong, through this fire we forged a bond. And they already know what it is when I get on. To the hearse, party like it's December 31st. When I'm on my deathbed, I probably cracking my nurse. You ain't got the bars to compete, I'm a verbal athlete. Deflating these boys so they say that I cheat. Damn, I did it.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Yeah. I should probably start by apologizing for the long wait, man. You know, I know I be tripping. But I'm not just a rapper, I'm an artist. And, you know, my creative process is a little bit different than most. Nonetheless, I want to welcome everybody out to the Dre's Experience. I got TCF in the building, my whole camp's here with me. I got the band in here laying this cool-ass vibe. And I'm Seattle's own. Let's get into it.
Good morning, everybody. This is Erik Kalligraphy, and I want to welcome y'all to Feel Good Friday. As usual, I just want to remind y'all to tag and share the stream. So today we have a wonderful episode for you. As you know, we're going to feel good, but at this very moment, I want to pass it over to my co-host.
What's up, y'all? My name is Jake Gravbrot, and I am the other half of the duo with Erik Kalligraphy today. I am so excited, actually, to be able to introduce our first clip to you. We're going to get right into it, actually. This is a clip that we were able to be a part of, actually. Converge was asked to come down on Monday of this week for the inaugural flight of Alaska Airlines Commitment airplane. And you're about to see what we were involved with that day. But I'll tell you one thing before we get started with this clip. It is a really powerful piece. And I am so proud to have been able to be a part of this and to be able to witness it. Alaska is doing some really great things as a company. And let's get right into it.
My first thought was, oh my God, like, I'm on this plane. This is so big, so revolutionary. No other airline has ever done this before, so this is really the coolest thing in the whole wide world. My dad is one of the people that works with the diversity, equity, and inclusion team here at Alaska Airlines, and so they asked those that had children that wanted to be on the plane to submit some things, and here I am. I'm so excited. These images, yes, it's us, but it's also every other Black child in America. And that's kind of the point of why the images are kind of vague. It's everybody.
I think that if this had not come to fruition, I think that many people wouldn't have known that UNCF and Alaska have had a partnership for so long as well, for 15 years. And yeah, I think this kind of just brings it all out and makes it really obvious. I don't know if anyone saw this, how could you not know at that point? It's right there.
I always knew Alaska was a great company, was going to do the right thing, but I never dreamed we'd get to this point. It is absolutely gorgeous. The message it's sending out to our kids and to the world, and what it reflects on Alaska Airlines. I've always been so proud of this company, and they keep finding ways to make me prouder and prouder.
When you see this airplane and what it represents, it's absolutely amazing. And so it kind of gives you a little bit of goosebumps about what we're doing for the future generation. And so this is just an airplane that really represents that partnership that we've had with them for quite a long time, and continued partnership going forward as well.
I've been with Alaska Airlines since June 17th of 1991, and to work for a company that has this prestigious aircraft that I'm standing in front of today, what an honor. I can proudly say today, I'm very much proud to be an Alaska Airlines flight attendant. We've donated to the UNCF, which is the organization to help prosper young minorities, Black children, in their education so they can strive in their communities and give back to their communities. We're the only airline with such a beautiful aircraft. As always at Alaska Airlines, we're the first to strive to the top.
I think they're making a statement across the world. This plane is going to be a big attention getter, as you can see.
We knew when we first started off that there was one quote that we were going to do. Ended up being two, so there's one on each side. Originally, it was just working with the Dr. King quote, so I was trying to use some civil rights era inspiration going into it, and that led to the overall style that we sort of finalized on. It's an incredible feeling. I'm not even sure what it means yet, and I don't think I'm going to fully grasp it or understand it until I see it in the sky, and I see it at airports. Seeing a plane that is, one, painted black, but also has black faces painted on it, is something that's crazy. It's striking. It looks totally different than every other plane you see on the tarmac, so I think it's going to be a really unique thing to see.
A lot of people ask me the story of this journey, how we got here with this airplane. Well, we unleashed the creativity of our people, our employees, and our wonderful marketing team that's here, and we said, go create something that will always be a symbol of our commitment and what we're all about at Alaska and our values that will be with us for at least 10 years. And this is what they came up with. Isn't it pretty incredible?
We want to increase the sense of belonging at Alaska Airlines. We want to increase representation. And we also want to be leaders in the community. We are serious about this commitment, and this aircraft is a representation. This, what I call, is a flying billboard of hope.
I actually had tears flowing from my eyes just from seeing what we have accomplished, where we're headed. Like I said, we're not there yet, but just seeing the commitment that we've made, the public statement, I mean, it is so moving. I can't tell you how big it is to go from 2D to 3D.
Oftentimes people are afraid to do what I call rock the boat. There's one foot in and there's one foot out, but they don't want to put both feet in. They say, we want to do this, we don't know how, or we want to do this, but this is not a but. This is, we want to do this, and we did it, and now we're moving forward, and that is so commendable.
Yes.
Alaska is now leaders in the industry for doing something like this, and it will spark so much change. It will change the narrative, and we will start to see ourselves reflected so much more.
That is what HBCUs do. They create opportunity. They give us a chance to shine. They're a place where young people of color and anybody will go and they'll be nurtured and they'll take their next step into our country. And they're better citizens, they're better neighbors, and they are going to change the trajectory of where we're going. this is why we say a mind is a terrible thing to waste. We have 7 million miles that we can give to kids, and we're going to be having 1 million miles a year for 10 years.
This plane for me represents hope, and it represents inspiration. And it reminded me of how important representation really is, and how important it is to be able to see yourself in something bigger, and to see people that look like you, and to see yourself being more than maybe what you thought you could be.
We hope that all the Black children who see this plane can see themselves on it as well. And in that way, it's not just 14 of us on this plane, it's millions.
Now, who wants to go on a spin on this beautiful airplane?
I want to kind of highlight, we have some special guests on board. So first of all, we have Jim Wiley. So Jim Wiley, 25 years retired airline captain here at Alaska, but he was the first Black pilot we hired here at Alaska Airlines. So awesome. Bring him out of retirement, I'm going to have a fun run with us and fly with us, of course. So.
Absolutely beautiful segment, Jake. And man, the importance of just a few things in that video, such as, history, such, the first pilot ever, right? First Black pilot that flew for Alaska, and then the second Black pilot, right? Mm-hmm. I think sometimes we forget that we are still a part of history every day. You know what I'm saying? To see something like that go into the sky, right, is absolutely amazing. And then one last point is the miles that they're given to take kids to colleges. I remember as a youth, I used to watch my aunt when it was time for my cousin to go to college. We had to go through all types of programs, Kappa League, 4-H, anything, just to have a chance to get a ticket to fly to a HBU, to go see Howard or to go see Clark, and that's so important to ease that extra weight. Every little bit counts. So, man, I think it's an absolute beautiful thing that Alaska Airlines is doing this, and man, this is a beautiful plane. I can't wait to be looking in the sky and be like, there it goes. Yeah,
I hope we see it often flying around, man. And I mean, Alaska has the means to be able to do something about, what you just talked about. It's a company that obviously is airplanes and commercial flights across the country. And so, that they're taking the initiative, and they have been. This is something that they've been doing for 15 years. I only fly Alaska, so it's actually something that I was aware of, but to be able to see it and to see their literal commitment to helping students, to helping children, not just in going to visit for, visitations for colleges, but also getting home, on breaks, getting back from breaks. Those are financial hardships that many people face, and not just the long-term college debt that goes along with it, but all the little things that can come along with it and the in-between. So kudos to Alaska really for stepping up and not just not just talking, but truly walking, or in their case, flying. Yeah. It's not just talking the talk, but it's flying the fly, and they're doing it. Again, that was so cool to be a part of, and I can't wait to see what these next 10 years of that plane being in the skies will mean to people. And I really hope to see it. I hope to fly on it again someday, in all honesty. So we'll look forward to that.
Yeah, man, I can't wait to see my nieces, my nephews, and most importantly, little O. Wherever little O is at, I need him on that plane very shortly.
Indeed. Come back from Chicago, little O.
Come back from Chicago. We miss you over here. All right, well, let's see. What is next? The Emerald turned 7.
Yeah. Seven. That's the number today, apparently. There's 7 million miles that Alaska had. The Emerald turned 7 yesterday and had a celebration for it. How cool is that, first of all? We work quite a bit with the Emerald. Obviously, Marcus and his staff have been a huge part of what we do over here at Converge. But to see, them shining and that's just so cool.
Man, for as long as I can remember the morning show, I remember that Emerald logo right in the corner.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to throw out a bunch of love to Marcus Green, the whole staff over there. You guys are absolutely amazing. Congratulations on being old, 7 years. And let's see. We got a clip?
We got a clip. Let's get into
it.
At South Seattle Emerald is the commitment to ask these hard questions. But most importantly, it gives a voice to the voiceless. And, for a long time, man, we haven't had a voice, a broad voice. And I'm really proud. I'm proud of the Emerald. I'm proud of you. Brother, you make a difference. The Emerald makes a difference. Seattle is a better place because of the South Seattle Emerald.
Man, bro, don't have me over here crying on on screen. Seriously, that means so much. Oh, I can't tell you how much that means to hear that from you, knowing your stature and knowing who you are, and knowing your character. For you to say that about me, I love you, brother, and thank you for loving me and loving the Emerald and doing what we do. And this is just the tip of the iceberg, and there's many, many more to come. Many more to come.
Many more to come, Marcus.
That just makes me happy, to see. I think too often, we live in a world where we're in a competitive world. People are always trying to make a name for themselves, and unfortunately, too often that ends up being where people are fighting against each other just to do that. And it's been so cool to be a part of something here at Converge where that's not the case. We are not in competition with others. We're here to support and we're here to uplift. And the Emerald has their place that they've been staked out for 7 years now, and we are just here to be a part of that and to help continue to tell that story too. And so, how cool,
man! Super cool. And those two brothers were sharp last night. Did you see that white jacket Marcus had on?
I expect nothing less from Marcus. Let me just say that. I've always been like, ooh, what's he going to have on today?
man, and we need to get that O every day. What is that? Monday when O comes back, he's going to be in a suit.
All right. Well, we're putting you on notice right now. Oh, Monday. Suit Monday.
So let's see. Gratitude. What are we doing next? Oh, yeah, we're on our way to the break. So continue watching. We'll see you in a couple minutes.
All right. So it's Feel Good Friday. And I'm on the road. And if you're actually watching this video right here, that means that Jake Gravbrot and Erik Kalligraphy haven't burned down the studio yet, which is good news. But on a serious note, on Fridays, Feel Good Fridays, we also like to give gratitude. And I wanted to take a moment and give a whole lot of gratitude to our super director, Alia D'Alessandro. Now, let me tell you, right? The way that it's supposed to work in a studio like this, with like 3 cameras, with graphical overlays, with audio, all kinds of different audios, with live links, there's supposed to be like 3 or 4 different people like doing different things. Oya does it all, including I forgot about the lighting, sound, some everything else. Oya does so much. And she does it every day. She comes in here into the studio. She operates the camera. She sets the light. She sets the sound. She does the graphical overlay. She pushes all the buttons to make the videos play. She brings people in on the video link and out on the video link. And Oya, Feel Good Friday. I just wanted to take a moment to say that we appreciate you, all the hard work that you do. Because of you, the Morning Update show continues to get better and better. So thank you, Alia D'Alessandro, for all your hard work here on the Morning Update show.
did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Back on this rap ish, I ain't even broke a sweat, homie, this practice. Pondering my next move, staring at my track list, hope I ain't miss my window. Praying like a Baptist, Seattle's own. Tired of this Game of Thrones. They made a list of the best rappers, and guess who wasn't on? While the disrespect continues, I'm steady packing these venues.
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.
Man, gratitude, feel good Friday.
Thank you, you're the best. You made me smile a lot.
So if you did not hear that, that was Alia saying, thank you, oh. You're the best. You make me smile a lot. Correct? Yeah. Oh, man. Jake, what are you thankful for on this Friday?
Oh, man. I mean, I got a lot. I think we're actually going to get into that a little later in the show, specifically what we're thankful for. But I will say, and just to comment about that gratitude break right there, I've said it before a number of times, but I've only worked for a few people over the course of the last 10, 12 years. Most of it has been spent working for myself. And Omari is a boss that leads definitely by example. And I'm proud to be working here at Converge. And I thought that was so cool what he just did. And caught all of us really kind of, by surprise. And that was so cool because it is, you see the people that are on the cameras every day on the morning show. That's a given, but the person that's running things behind the scenes is the one that you don't really ever see. I'm not sure, how often we ever actually get a chance to see Alia on camera, but I see Alia in every single day. And I can totally attest to what Omari just said, that, the show does not run. It doesn't run at all if we don't have Alia here doing what she does. So big thanks. We appreciate you so much. And, I don't think that we could do what we do without you. So that being said, let's get into our next clip. This is actually one that we filmed a couple of months back. If you recall, it was like the first of these segments that we did.
In Seattle, right?
Yeah. So we did a segment of 4 different produced pieces for Vanishing Seattle. And this was the very first one. It's in Skull, out in Ballard. And we'll get right into it.
So Ballard started as a Norwegian fishing village, and over the years, in the last 10 years or so, that we've started to lose some of the Norwegian and Scandinavian-facing businesses in the area. I'm Norwegian and Swedish. I love my heritage. My background was in the beer industry for years, and I wanted to marry those two things together. So I came up with a business plan in 2017 and worked toward finding a space in Ballard. This building has a really, really deep history. It's a 1920s building that started as someone's actually home. And then it migrated into a Swedish Scandinavian restaurant, the Vasa Grill, in the 1950s. It was here for, I believe, over 40 years. And then beyond that became the People's Pub, a German focused pub. And then when we took it over, we did a ton of work to revitalize the original history of the building itself, tore down all the drywall and this beautiful exposed brick behind all of the drywall, some of the original beams, the original windows. We do a spin on traditional Norwegian and Nordic food. We've tried to take that and run with it and make it more open to a larger group of people. A lot of our menu is based on what the Vikings might have had available to them in, let's say, 1000 AD. So we're taking a lot of the flavors from the woods and the sea and bringing that to life. There's a lot of pickled herring, smoked salmon, all things that are prevalent throughout Scandinavia that we are taking here and doing our own kind of Pacific Northwest spin on. The Ballard community was very receptive to this concept overall as a Viking-inspired beer hall that kind of is an homage to the history of the neighborhood. I think that speaks to how proud people are of their Scandinavian heritage, and they wanted a place to be able to continue to celebrate that in a very relaxed communal way in here. And I think we were set up to be able to weather a pandemic like this because we had that really strong customer base. The city has been very helpful with allowing us to use the outdoor space and to take over the parking spots outside. That gives us a free permit to us through October of 2021. And we're hoping that the city is able to work with us and other small businesses throughout the city to make that a more permanent thing. We do all sorts of things to get people to come in, give them a reason to come into the beer hall. A lot of those were focused on Scandinavian and Viking culture and history. We have a Viking historian talking about Vikings in the media. We did everything from mushroom foraging classes to the history of the Pacific Fisherman Shipyard that's right behind us here in Ballard, to name that tune with a drag queen, did Vikings of Comedy series in here. So we had a really, really strong programming effort that we really hope to bring back once we're able to have a bunch of people back inside the beer hall. We've made it a point to work with as many Scandinavian businesses in the Puget Sound area, actually really throughout the whole state of Washington. A great example is Scandinavian Specialties here in Ballard. We get all of our fish cakes from them. We have a very strong relationship with the Nordic Museum, National Nordic Museum down the street, partnering from a marketing perspective. We make a lot of content together. I'm actually the vice president of the Sons of Norway Leif Erikson Lodge up the street here. We also work with a winery called Gord. Gord means farm in Norwegian. It's a Norwegian-owned winery on the other side of the Cascades in Washington wine country. Future of the Scandinavian presence or culture here in Ballard. I think the first part centers around the huge Sitten de Mai parade that we have every year. So that's Norwegian Constitution Day. It's on May 17th. There are usually tens of thousands of people who come to see that parade. It's been going on for over 100 years. And unfortunately, in 2020, it was the first year that did not happen in 100 years. So I really want to see a strong comeback of that. And I'd love to see other Scandinavian businesses emerge again. You see it being used in a lot of the new apartment buildings that show up. It's just kind of, they use the name of something Scandinavian, but there really isn't any strong connection to the neighborhood. It's been quite a challenge to navigate the pandemic over the last year. We're constantly evolving and finding new ways to continue to engage our customers. I'm just absolutely amazed by the strength of the community in Ballard as a whole, not just the Scandinavian population, but how all of us have come together and kind of assisted each other throughout the pandemic. Just our customers in general have been incredible and have supported us, and we are here today because of that support. So I'm very grateful and thankful for all of that.
What I really liked about that whole series of segments was that it was in conjunction with Vanishing Seattle, which obviously, if you know Vanishing Seattle, they've done a great job of highlighting so many of the buildings and businesses and houses across the city that are being torn out, that have been torn out, that are about to be bulldozed for one thing or another. And so this whole series was actually done with businesses that that are fighting and scraping and clawing along to stay alive and not vanish. And so, one thing that I definitely gleaned from that particular piece, as he talked about just the preservation of the culture and the history of a neighborhood. And I think that that's something that we just in this city have really lost, is the value of what our history is in this city. And we talked a little bit about it during the actual segment itself while it was airing, Eric. And what are your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts is I really feel like people over property, man. At this point, my neighborhood, the Central District, is becoming less and less of what I remember. But the people are still thriving and strong, you know what I'm saying? And we've lost some, we gained some, but the spirit of the Central District needs to be preserved, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm hopeful for, I guess, you know what I'm saying? That's when I see a piece like that. Number one, when I see a piece like that and we get on that conversation, I go, man, the people that I grew up with were amazing, you know what I'm saying? And their stories and their legacies deserve to be preserved too. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so many buildings, and buildings are generally bound to crash or be built upon. But the stories of these people should stay and remain the same, right?
Yeah.
You know, from William Gross down to, I don't know, the youngest person from the Central District lineage right now. I don't know who had a baby recently, but somebody did. Also, man, Vanished in Seattle. Love them guys. Like Cynthia, Martin. Like the first time I got to meet Cynthia, it was at Africa Town. And if you guys go back, you can find the old footage. But we got to interview her about Vanished in Seattle. And at that moment, it was like an Instagram page and everything was disappearing, COVID, you know? And to be able to, maybe even a year later at this point, create something like that.
Yeah.
Thanks to you, right? You know what I'm saying? Freaking awesome work, as always.
Well,
right?
we did it as a team, man. I mean, you were there for all of them except for one, I think, you know? So yeah, we did that as a team. And I think it was a great communal effort for all of that to be put together. So
preserve the stories of the people. That's your story. That's mine. That's Cynthia's. That's all you guys out there. Preserve your story. Get a journal.
Get a journal. Yes, indeed. All right. Well, we are about to head to another break. And after that, we'll be back with a special piece that I've got created for us. Stay tuned.
I did it for the city. I did it for the love. I did it for the people. I did it for us.
Back on this rap-ish, I ain't even broke a sweat, homie, this practice. Pondering my next move, staring at my track list, hope I ain't miss my window. Praying like a Baptist, Seattle's own, tired of this Game of Thrones. They made a list of the best rappers and guess who wasn't on? While the disrespect continues, I'm steady packing these venues.
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.
Welcome back to the morning update show. How many times do we got to say that? How many times do we miss it?
I don't know, but if you say it 3 times, then you're bound to remember it forever after that.
Yeah. Welcome back to the morning update show. Welcome back to the morning. No.
There we go. You got it.
All right, going into this next segment, I have to say I'm truly excited about this because one, I've never seen it. 2, I remember the time period. I remember the trip that you went on, right? I remember you becoming an old man, right?
Yeah.
And I definitely remember catching you after and giving you the biggest hug, you know what I'm saying? And the love that was felt. I don't know what to say about this, so I'm going to pass it to you. And then I'm going to have so much to say afterwards.
All right. Well, so last month, I turned 40, and that kind of blows my mind because I remember thinking to myself, actually, the first birthday that I ever remember my dad having was his 40th. And my mom, had a big party for him because 40 is a milestone. And so I had a plan to go on a road trip in March, and that was going to be starting with heading down to Phoenix, and I was going to see my dad, where my dad lived at the time, and then go on a week-long road trip across the Southwest. And right before that trip happened, my dad passed away. And so my trip still happened, and I felt like there was a way that I needed to be able to honor my dad. And my dad instilled in me from really early on a love of being outdoors. It was early where I would go outside and just play catch with him after he would get off work. I would look forward to him coming off work, and we'd go out in the street and play catch. But later on in life, one of the last places that I ever actually was able to take him was on a trip to the Grand Canyon, and he had Alzheimer's. So that was an undertaking in and of itself. But I felt like the best way that I could possibly honor my dad would be to film something in the Grand Canyon, and you're about to see what I filmed. Here we go.
2 weeks ago, when I had this road trip planned, I had never even considered actually going to the Grand Canyon, let alone hiking down to the bottom. But life doesn't always give you exactly what you plan for. And 2 weeks ago, my dad passed away of a long battle with Alzheimer's. But when I started to think about things that I could do in a way to honor him, as well as to grieve in the kind of way that I uniquely do, I realized that one place that we consistently were able to go to, especially over the course of the time that he lived in Arizona, was the Grand Canyon. A couple of years back, my ex-wife and I decided to take him on a trip to the Grand Canyon, and it was the last place that I was ever able to go with him. It was difficult because he was having trouble with his walking and his equilibrium, and he got scared easily and didn't know where he was and wasn't very active to begin with at that point. But it was the last place that I was able to go with him that was our own. And I remember on that trip he actually said multiple times along the drive, or even in the canyon itself, as the light was hitting the walls just right, he commented on the colors, the reds and the pinks. So the canyon is a special place, and I realized that if I was going to do this trip right, I needed to actually integrate the Grand Canyon into it. And instead of actually being able to see my dad before this trip started, I was going to instead be having to grieve my dad over the course of this trip. It was too close to home, if you will, and I was also too close to the actual trip itself to even consider doing anything differently. This trip was going to happen, and that's all that there was to it. So I added the Grand Canyon into this and decided that the one thing that I could do that would mix things up a little bit, that would also kind of honor him in a way that I wanted to, was I was going to actually hike into the Grand Canyon itself. There was a point when he and I and my mom and my son started the South Kebab Trail and made it a mile down and then came back up. That was as far down, I believe, as he ever actually went into the canyon itself. And I thought to myself, this is what I need to do. I need to take my dad with me. I need to go into this place and spend time in this hallowed region, this beautiful example of what Earth has to offer. And I need to go. I need to take the memories of my dad there. I need to create new memories, even without him. And I'm going to do this hike. I'm going to make it down to the bottom. I'm going to show him a place that he's never been, inside of a location that he's been many times. And so I set out to go on this road trip with this final task of completing the hike in and out of the Grand Canyon as my goal. The week itself was going to be spent watching sunrises and sunsets, sunrises especially being the thing that makes me think of my dad, because the day that he died I was on a walk, and I kept on walking super early in the morning heading north with the most furious of pacing and the intention to just keep on going and keep on going and keep on going and keep on going and not to look back. And for whatever reason, right around sunrise that morning, I decided to turn back, and I saw the most vivid and vibrant of colors that I've ever seen in a sunrise, and it was the colors, the exact same kind of colors that would have wowed my dad and marveled his attention to the point that he would have exclaimed, "Look at that, that's really pretty." And I felt like that was my dad that morning, and so I've been intentionally trying to seek out sunrises, and I thought to myself, on this particular trip, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that every day. I'm going to be up for sunrise, I'm going to be out for it, I'm going to be present for it, I'm going to meditate with it, I'm going to breathe it in. And so I did. My dad's the guy that wears the band T-shirt to the concert that he's going to. As you can see, he wears the Grand Canyon T-shirt to a Grand Canyon trip. Yeah, that was a really special trip.
Man, I feel like watching that, not only do I know you a little bit better, right? Somehow I know your dad.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I also understand, like, I know you are a sunrise, sunset type of guy. You catch them every day, right?
And one of the other, or if not both, yeah.
If not both. It probably spawns from those trips to the Grand Canyon. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, like I said earlier, preserving the story of people, man.
Mm-hmm.
Felt like you just preserved the story of your father, of you and your father, in such a short amount of time, with such beautiful videography, man, and words, man.
Well,
I don't know if you wrote that or if you freestyled that, but
I freestyled it.
Oh, sorry, Miss Walden. Man, absolutely beautiful, brother.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm definitely about being able to preserve that. I think that I've talked about it before, just in my own conversations. But most people probably don't even know what 2 or 3 generations before them actually did in their own family line. And so, having the opportunity to preserve that was really important to me. And also, I think to just maybe create something new that I can continue to do over the years. That's a place that was special and is special. And that wasn't the first of those trips. I imagine that at this point now, I'll probably make it a point to go back and do that on a regular basis, just as a, come on, Dad, let's go.
Yeah.
So.
Whew. Where are we going next?
We're actually going to move into a merch break coming up. And if you didn't know, Converge Media operates off of a lot of donations from people. And I was going to say, I got a Converge shirt on directly underneath this too. But one way that you can support our continued content and keeping us on the air is by buying merch. So here's a break.
And we're back. We get to talking in between breaks, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, wait a minute, we're back on air. So our next segment, I want to actually throw it over to you, Eric, because a couple months back we filmed a piece for Communion, which is a new business in the Central District, and we talk about preserving, but also for new businesses that are getting their start off the ground, them being able to continue on and get their information out there. It was really cool to be a part of this for Communion, and so. You get a chance to eat there often, yeah?
I generally eat there like once a week.
Once a week is often.
They got fried beets. The red beans and rice were on the menu the last time I went there, but those are great. The fried okra. There's a lot of food there I love. But more than the food, I love the sense of family, the sense of communion, I guess, COVID restrictions, generally go there, you'd have to eat outside. But it's also right next or under the Liberty Bank building. It feels like the last piece of the CD, like the Central District is back. You know what I'm saying? You have Earl's right there. You have a lot of Central District natives that live in the Liberty Bank building. So you get to see people you haven't seen in a long time. You get to have conversations. I love everything about Communion. And they also hired a bunch of like family and friends from the Central District and community.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So love Communion.
Well, let's get into this piece. Here we go.
Let's go.
That's a good question. Let me go down the list. Obviously, we talked about the hummus. The hummus is gonna be back. Anybody that knows us know about the hummus. So it'll be back in our market. You'll be able to come pick it up. Even if you're not ordering a full meal, come through, drop by, pick it up. You can walk out. So the hummus is definitely one of our key mark products, I'll say. In terms of like the dinner and menu.
But hold up though.
Hold up.
If you're gonna talk about the hummus, you gotta talk about the hummus sampler. Cause you gotta cause listen, like it's coming up. Like the collard green dip, roasted collard green dip is fire.
That's fire.
It's fire.
It is. No, it is.
And
it
then
is.
you have it, so it's the black eyed pea hummus, our original flavor. Then you have the roasted collard green dip. Then you have the zoog. And zoog is a Yemenese cilantro hot sauce. Came up on it one time. I was like, oh, that looks good. Let me try that out.
Yeah. And then I say after that, I'm gonna roll into the root vegetable cakes, which again, like those are fire. There's a classic from that carried over from TBGC. So it's sweet potatoes, beets, carrots, kind of mixed up with a batch of seasonings and fried. So it's a vegan dish, but it's fire. And it's fire. I'm not gonna say but, because people be hating on vegan food. But it's a vegan dish and it's fire. So it's also served with the cilantro aioli. And then I'm gonna have to choose the po mi. And honestly,
I thought you were gonna do so.
I'm gonna have to do the po mi, especially this one, because it's like the po mi is a mix between a po' boy and a bun mi. So it's like that idea.
So we called it like the whole thing is like if Miss Helen was raised in Saigon. This po mi is my tribute to her in ways. Like I love Southeast Asian food. Like Vietnamese food is really one of my favorites now.
I mean, talking about food, it's almost lunchtime. So indeed. Well, we are almost ready to wrap things up. So we appreciate you guys all being here with us for the morning update show today. But before we let you go, before we go into this weekend ahead, I wanted to throw it over to you, Eric, and maybe have a quick discussion on things that we are thankful for so we can go into the weekend feeling good. What you got for us?
All right, so I'm thankful for the birds, the bees, the trees, the wind, the sky, the sun. Every day there's something I wake up and I go, I'm thankful for. And the more I do this, right, the more I'm really thankful for little things. Like it's kind of a joke when I say the birds, the bees, right? But to be honest with you, I'm thankful for the life around me, the life that I live, the life that the people live around me, you know? We only have so much time on this earth. And to spend that time being Colonel Stinkmeaner, right? If you ever watched the Boondocks, you know who that is. The blind guy with the stick, you know. There's not enough time for that, man. It's easier just to be thankful for everything around you at the moment, you know. When you call somebody, just tell them that you love them. I generally get off the phone and say, I love you. I never leave a building without telling the people I love them. You know what I'm saying? Even when O calls me at 3, 4 in the morning, and I'm generally up, but
you are.
But I'm not in the phone mood. I still tell them I love them, right? So, Alia, I love you.
Thank you, Eric.
It's Alia day today, right?
It is every day.
Every day. Man. Once again, man, preserving the stories of people, man, the history of people. And that starts by being able to see and understand the person in front of you, right? And appreciate them. I appreciate you. And I love you, brother.
You know, it's as you were saying that, exactly what you just said. I love you, brother. And before you said it, you know, I could hear you say that, because truly that is what Eric says, and he means it. You know, when he came into the office today, he gave me the biggest, tightest hug. That's Eric. You know, so he's not BSing, that's for sure, for what he's about. I'm thankful. You know, this whole entire episode today was a lot of opportunities that we have been given at Converge to tell the stories of other businesses, and from huge businesses with Alaska down to small, you know, neighborhood businesses like Skull and Communion. And to me, that has been one of the coolest parts of being a part of Converge, because when I first was brought on, you know, we were smack dab in the middle of the protests, and we did that for months, day in, day out, night in, night out, you know, and those were just crazy, crazy times. And to be able to have really kind of seen us transition and pivot into helping to tell the stories of you know, people and businesses that are really out there making a difference has been something that I've just been so thankful for. So, you know, I could go on for days, because I definitely, I'm a grateful person, but that's definitely something that this episode really put into the forefront of my mind, was just that we are in such a awesome position to be able to help tell these stories, and I couldn't be more grateful for it. And we're grateful to you as an audience as well, because if we were, you know, we do it just for Mama Walden, you know, we know that, and everybody knows that, but we are so grateful that we've got an audience that, you know, some days is great and some days is, you know, a little bit less than great numbers, but we don't care. We will do it for you guys every single day. And so we really appreciate you all tuning in and being a part of this and supporting Converge as well, because, you know, it makes a difference.
Man, Feel Good Friday.
I think we did it.
And we should do it more often.
I like doing this with you. Yeah. You know, if it means giving Omari and Trey an extra day off or so, I like it.
Yeah, they deserve it. Also, we got to say, we love you, Trey. We love you, O.
Yep.
I don't know what plane they are on separately. I don't know where the heck they are. Right? But when you guys get back, I'm going on a vacation. Even though I was on a vacation last week. I'm going on vacation. I'm always on vacation.
It's always time for a vacation.
It's like.
Well, thank you everyone for being a part of Feel Good Friday. Today, we're going to send you out into the weekend. And with that, have a great one. Peace.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise as the
that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day.